On March 19, 1869, the first US Pictorial stamps were issued. By early 1868, the then-current U.S. definitive stamps had been in use for over 6 years, and their printing plates were worn. Also, the post office's contract with the National Bank Note Company was set to expire in February 1869. They requested bids for the contract to print new stamps and suggested that there should be variety in the sizes as well as the designs of the stamps. Previous issues had been produced in pieces or as a rushed response to the Civil War. It was suggested this new series honor the history of the U.S. Post Office, beginning with Franklin, the Continental Postmaster, and the Post Rider of the early days, followed by the locomotive of a later day, and the ocean steamer carrying the mails. The most important scenes in the early history of the country, its triumphant arms, and Washington its first, and Lincoln its last president. The National Banknote Company won the contract and produced the stamps. Most of the pictorials were issued on March 19, 1869. Though the stamps initially received some positive reviews, they were heavily criticized. The press called them neither historical, national, nor beautiful. Other complaints included poor quality gum and jokes that the stamps were so small, people needed to use microscopes to find them in their pocketbooks. In spite of the negative reaction, the 1869 pictorials were historic. They were the first U.S. stamps to feature something other than the bust or head of a famous American leader. They also included the first bicolor stamps, as well as rare inverts. The 1869 pictorials are also the only stamps with the G grill. In an effort to prevent the reuse of postage stamps, Charles Steele invented a device that grilled stamps. When the rollers were run over paper, its fibers were broken, leaving a pattern on the paper. Different patterns of grills were later identified by a letter. The stamps in this series are the only ones with the G pattern on them. The 15-cent denomination primarily paid certain rates to France, Germany, and Italy. It also satisfied the domestic registry fee. The difference between the Type 1 and Type 2 stamps is an additional line was cut in the frame around the vignette. The Type 1 stamp is also more than 10 times scarcer than the Type 2 stamp. The 24-cent stamp paid large weight rates or expensive foreign rates, plus it was used as a makeup stamp. One of the finest examples of engraving, the center of the stamp is a miniature masterpiece, picturing John Trumbull's Declaration of Independence. James Smiley engraved 42 people, and the 6 principal figures can be recognized under a magnifying glass. The 30-cent shield and eagle was heavily criticized when it was issued. The design was created so that the denomination, spelled out in red letters, flows over into the blue flag printing. The 90-cent Lincoln is the only bicolor stamp of the series that didn't result in inverts. Only one is known on a cover, the legendary Ice House cover sent from Boston to Calcutta. The pictorials were printed in limited numbers, but they were planned to be produced over a 4-year period. Because of their unpopularity, they were removed from sale within a year. In 1875, all of the pictorial designs were reprinted for sale and display at the 1875 Centennial Exposition in Philadelphia. They were issued in very limited quantities, some as few as 1,356. They were printed on hard white paper and were not grilled.